Top amazing facts about Adolf Hitler. Number 1. His first love was a Jewish girl. When he was 16 and attended school in Linz, he met a girl named Stephanie Rabatsch. He fell deeply in love with her, a teenager's first love in spring 1905. His childhood friend, August Kubizek, wrote in his book Adolf Hitler, Mein Jugendfreund that Stephanie had no idea how deeply Adolf was in love with her. He never managed to her, always saying that he would do so tomorrow. When his mother's funeral procession passed Stephanie's house, he stated that he had seen her behind the window and had found consolation in that. In his best friend's words, when she responded with a smile to his inquiring glance, he was happy and his mood became unlike anything I had ever observed in him. But when Stephanie, as happened just as often, coldly ignored his gaze, he was crushed and ready to destroy himself and the whole world. In her later days, Stephanie stated that she was unaware of his feelings. Number 2. His family doctor was a Jew. Eduard Bloch was a Jewish doctor who was held in high regard, particularly among the lower social classes in the native of Linz, Austria, around 1903. He was ready to help his patients at any time, even during night. The first patient of the Führer's family he had to see was Führer himself when he became seriously ill and bedridden because of the severe lung ailment, and until 1907, he remained as the physician of that family. When Führer's mother was diagnosed with breast cancer, Bloch treated her till she died without taking money from them. The then 18-year-old Führer honored him with his everlasting gratitude for that. Later in his interview, Bloch said that Führer was the saddest man I had ever seen, when he was informed of the death of his mother. Bloch was also awarded special protection after the Nazi union between Austria and Germany. Number 3. He always carried his mother's portrait. After Führer's father Alois Hitler's first marriage to Anna Glaselhorer, his mother Clara Paulsloh was hired as a household servant at the age of 16. And after the death of Alois's second wife Franziska Motzelsberger, Alois and Clara were married on January 7, 1885. Their first son, Gustav, was born on May 15, 1885, followed by Führer on April 20, 1889. His mother was very devoted to her children and regularly attended church with them. He had a very close relationship with his mother and was devastated by her death. He carried the pain for that loss for the rest of his life, and later said, "That was a dreadful blow." In his book, Mein Kampf, he stated that he honored my father, but loved my mother. In the book Adolf Hitler, Mein Jugendfreund, August Kubizek stated, "When we lived together in Vienna he always carried his mother's portrait with him." Number 4. He was a strict vegetarian. He followed a strict vegetarian diet since his early days and in 1941, he self-identified as an orthodox vegetarian. Ignatius Varatha later described him as a lifelong vegetarian at table. He hated meat as he was strictly against any kind of animal slaughtering. German magazine Die Weissvonnegerung once published in Führer's ruling days, "Do you know that your Führer is a vegetarian, and that he does not eat meat because of his general attitude toward life and his love for the world of animals? Do you know that your Führer is an exemplary friend of animals, and even as a chancellor, he is not separated from the animals he has kept for years?" He himself also said, as recorded in the Hitler's Table Talk, that one may regret living at a period when it's impossible to form an idea of the shape the world of the future will assume. But there's one thing I can predict to eaters of meat: the world of the future will be vegetarian. Number 5. He was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. He was nominated in the year 1939 for the Nobel Peace Prize by a member of the Swedish Parliament named E.G.C. Brandt, though that nomination was never taken seriously due to the war controversies that time and also for political dilemma of World War II. A number of Swedish parliamentarians had nominated the then British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain at the time for the Nobel Peace Prize, where Brandt viewed the nomination with great skepticism, while nominating Führer as an opponent for the Nobel. However, that nomination was not well received by many other political leaders around the world, and the nomination was swiftly withdrawn on February 1, 1939, with just a single letter from Brandt.